Alright. I would like to first and foremost apologize for looking ever so rough. I stayed up all night editing just because I wanted to get all this done in a timely manner. I would like to take some time to talk about my time returning to Arkham as the Dark Knight himself. Uh, just right off the bat, this is by far the darkest, grittiest, most online with what I remember BatMan being kind of game out there that I've played. I mean, I'm playing the final piece in the series and it felt like it was a dark, gritty Batman movie. It was nice. It felt different than the first two. I mean, the first one being the wow, Arkham Asylum. Uh, it felt very comic booky. They kind of used a cell shading texture to it that was used in a lot of superhero games of its time, like the Deadpool game and all the other like X-Men shit like that. And then playing Arkham City, where they had that lockdown city, it looked a little closer to this, where it was a little darker, a little grittier, not as cartoony. But this one, it doubled down, and you can tell that there was a gap in when the games are made, how they were made. Rocksteady really took their time on this. They had more available hardware. Apologies, I'm a little sick right now, but like, it wasn't like it'll rain every here or there, or there'll be a cloud every now and then. No. Raining all the time, clouds all the time. It's always night. There is no daytime, because it is one night that this takes place in. Which, how Batman fit like 22 hours of content into one night is beyond me. He's an amazing dude, I guess, and the laws of time and space do not apply to him. Personally, I like the way they went about it, where not everything was so linear as they did in the previous games. This one kind of had a choose how much you feel like doing adventure, and that was kind of nice. It wasn't like a full open world game where it was like, hey, you beat the first mission, be on your merry way. There were definitely things like, oh, you're going to do the side quest? Well, you need the electric thing from the last game. Where do I get it? It's back in lockup storage. Just go pick it up anytime. And if you wouldn't have done the extra side quest, eventually a main quest mission came along where, like, yeah, you kind of need that electric thing. Goodness, excuse me. Not once in the story do I ever remember needing the flash blast grenade. I actually kind of just happened across it, and I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, well, I guess that's in my inventory now. Yeah, that was definitely one of the weirder ones. As far as the whole play it your way style, I said it in the end credits of each and every episode. I ain't doing the Riddler thing. Look, it's a third game tradition at this point. I'm not just going to suddenly do it because I want to feel completionist. I made it through the game with pretty good odds on my side. I think I did good. And now for the part that I've really been waiting to say. My man, the Jonkler, is back, and he is in our head screwing with us the entire game. I did not expect that twist. To start, in the opening scene, apparently it detected my main monitor as an ultra-wide. It's not an ultra-wide, so I had no idea if there was like a button I was supposed to be pressing, as you could tell. I spent a good 30 seconds just staring at the screen like, when's the... Is it gonna... Nope, I just had to click a button. That's why I adjusted that right away when I got out. Also, the thing in the diner with the cop really screwed with me too, because there was no button input to say shoot zombie. It was just, do I do something? Is it me time? Do me do? I mean, out of that, not so bad. It was fun. It was a different start. It wasn't just I am Batman. It was, hey, we're gonna set you up for this story. And once I realized that the entire premise of the story became the Joker / the Joker's blood still fighting around inside of Batman, it just took it from there for me. I mean, the dude he's always been Batman's worst half. They've always been two sides of the same coin. You know, like, Batman is pure justice, Joker is pure chaos. And they needed each other. Well, since my man the Jonkler died in the last game, I don't know if Batman was actually fighting with Joker blood, like the rest of his lockup victims, or if the Batman was just so deprived of his Jonkler that he had to just make it up. So, whatever the case and cause, it was good to have it. The Joker was a bit weird at times, but he was his usual self, as most he could be. Bringing back Penguin was definitely a choice. I don't particularly love this series' interpretation of Cobblepot, but that's because I'm a snoot. The only Batman movies I've really watched were The Dark Knight and the old ones from the 80s that were so comically cheesy that they were kind of ass, but still funny. I remember Mr. Freeze was Arnold Schwarzenegger, if that gives away the era of movie I watched for Batman. Yeah. Bringing all of them back, like Dent coming back, Killer Croc, Penguin. Whew. Yeah. I am tired. It was definitely nice to see them all back, and it wasn't like you had to just them to work with like you did the last couple of games. They definitely diversified. Like, Firefly, pretty forgettable. I don't think I've ever heard of him outside of this entry. Riddler, of course, is a staple bring back in the series just because he's an annoying piece of shit. This time he's actually in the game instead of just omnipotent Jesus in the corner. He's actually there for the adventure. Of course, got to bring back Gordon, got to bring back Oracle / Batgirl. Couldn't live without them. Trying to think of other villains they shoved in this game that I just couldn't think of anywhere else. I mean, Freeze came back and it was brief, and he wasn't a dickhead this time. That was an amazing thing. I was expecting some sort of, like last game kind of shit where it's like, oh, thank you for helping me get back Nora. Fuck you. Nope. Freeze was normal. Freeze, Firefly. They didn't bring back the weird... Oh wait, they did. They brought back the Identity Thief. It was so... it was so comically brief, I actually forgot about it. I was gonna say they didn't bring him back from the first game. No, they did. It was a whole one mission long, and it was an interesting twist. Kind of caught me off guard. Some cult dude, Mr. Blackfire, I think. That was one I've never heard of yet again. The pig I actually knew about from like an obscure DC Comics standpoint. I don't know which fucking one, but I was when I read it. So, hooray for the pig coming back. I thought that was just one of those weird one-off comics they made. I guess he was important enough to add to this. I cannot think of anyone else. Oh, I didn't have to play as Catwoman very long this game. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but it got a little old in the other one. Having to constantly switch back and forth. This one, it was an optional side quest, and it was a nice, refreshing one. I also didn't have to max out 2 skill trees to play as 2 people, because I played as, like, 4 people? Oh, shoot, now I gotta think. Batman, Catwoman, Robin, Nightwing. Yeah, that's it. So, I'm glad they didn't have separate, you know, character sheets for each of them where you gotta fill in the dots to get special powers. They just dropped the character in with the reasonable expectation that everything's gonna be pretty much the same as Batman minus some gadgets. And even then, the scenes you have with those characters aren't long enough to really even warrant using different gadgets, aside from just beating the absolute piss out of people. I will admit, in the third video, it was about 6 in the morning while I was recording it. When Joker is trying to escape Batman's head with the fear toxin from Scarecrow, when you go down the one hallway to Joker's statue and turn around and there's a bat statue behind you, I don't remember how much my mouse shook, but I about left my chair. And I had to be quiet because I didn't want to wake anybody up. But I jumped. I jumped real hard. I don't love horror games in the least bit. In fact, I generally refuse to play them because I don't love being silent jump scared. Like normally, if you get like the little violin stinger music start to play in the background, you hear a little, you know something's coming. You can at least kind of brace yourself for crapping your pants inevitably. When there is absolutely no noise whatsoever and you're just kind of walking around, you turn back and Batman's stony ass is just staring at you. Oh shit, my pants at 6 in the morning and shrieked like a little girl. It was an unintentional horror moment that really got me. Like, I'm playing as the Joker holding a gun, and instead of my first reaction being to click because there's something there that wasn't there, it was to go. So I'd like to applaud the devs. You made an innocent man almost crap himself. Aside from that, I got nothing else to say. It was a fun game. It was a really good way to round out the series, and because the true ending is locked behind doing all the Riddler's crap, of which I had like 250 pieces of crap to go, I promptly kind of just said, I'm good, nah, fine, and just let it slide. I wanted to just not do it because there was so much crap and he was being just so shittily petty about it. And then eventually I came to the reasoning that it was the third game and it wasn't worth my time. I looked it up and I looked up the end of the game and it made sense. It seems like something Batman or Bruce would do in that situation. It's like, hey, everyone knows I'm the great defender. Oh, well, what are we gonna do, Master Bruce? And just, you know, blows up his mansion and up and outs himself. It's not like the dude doesn't have enough fucking money to just build a second mansion. He's Bruce fucking Wayne. He's a billionaire. Personally, 9 out of 10. The Riddler was a bit of a bitch and bowed out of a good fight that he could have had. But aside from that, this is probably the first game in like a while that I have actually felt compelled to just go off and do the side quests. The rewards were, you know, I feel suitable. Hey, you helped this person out. Here's a point. Hey, you found a firefighter. 2 points. Did you bring someone in after completing a whole long chain side quest? You got like 7 points leading up to that. But because you saw it through, we're gonna give you 3 whole smackaroos, Batman. Like, that feels like a fitting reward system. Like, I hate to beat a dead horse on examples, but like with Watch Dogs 2, you could just run around the map, find all the tech points that unlock the secret stuff, and do absolutely nothing else. and make the game an easy breeze where nothing else matters. This game, you had to fight for it. I think I died more times in this game than I did the other two combined because they threw enough different things at me that it wasn't just punch this guy, stomp on that guy, bada bing, bada boom. I died because my hubris did not allow me to see the fact that I was being an absolute troglodyte half the time. And I was dumb as shit. It was a good game. I felt good playing it. I felt compelled to actually finish it. Didn't feel forced. Felt natural. Felt good. Yeah. I will be doing something very, very different next. So I hope everyone is looking forward to something a little more off the chart. But I like mixing it up every once in a while with shit. And this one is actually going to be something new, not something I've missed. I am jumping on the hype train for something that I've wanted for a very long while. And yeah, I'll let you guys join me then. Hopefully you all have a good time and see you around.